Hey, are you listening to Unab On Air right now? If not, what are you waiting for?
A new program has arrived on unabradio.com to live the English language.
Are you listening to Unab On Air right now?
Unab On Air will bring you news, interviews, and the best music for your Thursday afternoon. Join us at unabradio.com and enjoy the Unab On Air experience. News, interviews, and the best music for your Thursday afternoon.
On. Okay. Hello, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am recovery from something on my back.
Oh, really? What happened?
Yeah. I have a problem on my knee.
Yeah.
When you get old, getting old sucks, you know.
Mm-hmm.
When you get old, you know that your body is not working the way it should be.
Mm-hmm.
So now, well, it's not now. Just 3 years ago, I got some problems with my knee. And I discovered I got something called I forgot the name. How can I forget the name? Well, there's something in my knee that I don't have that liquid in my knee anymore.
Okay.
And my body is not producing that liquid anymore.
Yeah.
So basically my knee is bone and bone. You know?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
It's like the cartilage.
Chondromalacia. That's the name. Chondromalacia.
Yeah, interesting.
It's like a disease from space, you know, chondromalacia.
Mm.
Yeah.
Something similar happened to my mom, but on her hip, where her bones were like rubbing against each other, and she couldn't walk anymore.
Yeah.
And she had to get a hip replacement. Yeah.
But she's okay.
Right now, she's recovering from the surgery, but she's walking now with a cane. Before, she couldn't walk. It was really difficult for her to stand up and everything, but she's doing better now.
The same happened to my knee. You know, I used to play football. Used to be good, not very good, but good. And you know, I had to stop and all things that happened. And I discovered that my hip started to have some problems. I don't know. It was like hurting something, and I went to the doctor. They say it's because of your knee, and I say what? Another problem added to my knee. Yeah, when you don't have the knee properly working, there's no balance. So you kind of walk in a way you shouldn't be walking that way. So I had to take some therapies, 20 therapies for my hip, but now I'm feeling better. You know.
I see. Yeah. I'm starting to get worried about my knees.
How old are you?
I'm 26.
You don't have to worry about anything. You are
When does it start happening?
38.
38?
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. So I have 10
38
years.
you start not running the same way.
Oh, no.
Your endurance is not that good anymore.
Yeah.
So, no, but my knee happened like, you know, in pandemic. I realized there was something bad with my knee. So I started with going to doctors and stuff. And
Yeah. Interesting.
I'm
Now,
getting old.
the reason I'm concerned is because I'm starting to do like competitive races. Like this Sunday, I'm running a half marathon here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
With the university or in
It's
particular?
in the metropolitan area. It's just.
But you don't have
medio
any
marathon.
sponsor, just...
No, it's just by myself.
Okay.
Yeah, a couple more people from the Fulbright program are also running the half marathon though.
But you're running...
By ourselves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and yeah, I went running recently around here in Pan de Azúcar, you know, the little hill around here, and yeah,
It's not little.
yeah, it's pretty tall.
It's demanding, you know.
Yeah, and I could feel it on my knees after because you have to run upward and downward, and so it's like just a lot of weight.
Downward
on
is
your
the
joints.
most demanding movement for the knee.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that because of the problem. My doctor says it ain't matter if you have to, you know, get on a 40 floors of building just going up, but the problem is going down.
Right.
So when you go down, you have to go down like in a special way, or if you can go down and up, taking the elevators. Or I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, they say that.
Yeah, I gotta be careful with certain movements.
Yeah.
Especially as you get older.
Thank you.
No, I don't mean it for you. It's just
How
for
old
the
are you?
audience.
How old are you?
22.
22. Any problem with your legs, with your knees? No. You see?
That's good.
You young people, you don't have problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. When you get old, you start realizing things are not working the way they should be working, you know.
Yeah.
You're not having that stamina you used to have. So it's difficult. Okay, books for students. That was the name of the program, the show, no?
Books for students.
What books university students must read? That is an obligation. It's something you must do, not because it's part of your career, because it's something that you as a person becoming adult should read. What do you think?
Well, I'll speak from experience. In college, there was what they called the core curriculum at Columbia University. And as part of the core curriculum, we had to take 2 years of literature. So 4 semesters of that. And in those literature courses, we had to take what were the classics. So we read classic books, which I'm really glad that I read. And these included books that were written during the times of ancient Greece and ancient Rome. And also just more modern classics that just tell you a lot about humans and how we are, how we act. It tells you a lot about yourself as well. I certainly had like some revelations as I was reading those books. And a couple notable books that I read through that class were the Iliad by Homer. It's just a story about the Trojan War, right? And we also read the Bible in that class, and I read the Bible every day.
Which one, the old book or the new book?
The Old Testament and the New Testament.
Okay.
I read both. I think it's good to read the Bible. It also tells you a lot about how humans are, what they believe, and there's just so much depth to explore. And I also read another book called Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. Yeah, and that book did a number on me as well.
Why?
Because it's a story.
Human nature, you know.
Right, yeah. It's about a man who thinks he knows everything and he can get away with whatever, and people should treat him with certain kind of respect. And yeah, it just opened my eyes to realize that I shouldn't be like this guy, you know, and I should be more humble. So yeah, there's just a lot of stories that have a lot of depth, that are very historic, that perhaps students should read while they're in college. But yeah, these are only accessible a lot of times through literature classes. And so yeah, I would say those are really good things to read while you're young, because it opens your eyes, you know?
When I was at the university, I used to read a lot, but not anymore. You know, it's like you start working and you're focused on making money, but I don't know why. Something I learned from reading the books is that every single time you read a book, it's like time traveling, you know, because the books tells you about situations that may happen to you because it happened to the main character of the book, and how the main character of the book react to those situations and how he solve any problems he had or anything. It prepares you, because sometimes books it's not a law, but sometimes books just offer you things that will happen to you in the future, because those books are written generally by older people, you know, wiser people. So they just wrote about their personal things, affairs or whatever, and they transform into the book. So when I was reading like frequently, I realized, okay, this guy is doing this, and this happened. And you start living your life, and yeah, it happened to me the same.
Right.
So if I do this, I may get that result. Or if I do differently, like the guy did in the book, I may have a different result. So that's a reason to read, you know.
Yeah,
you get
gives you an
like
example.
tools to face life.
Yeah, I agree.
And the problem is what to read, because nowadays there are lots of books. But you know when you go to, have you been to the Éxito?
Yes, the one in Cabecera.
Yeah. There are many books when you're on the queue to pay your things.
Mm-hmm.
There are many books, but I don't know, books like not deep enough, in my opinion.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. Are there any books that impacted your life?
Yeah. The name of the book is Paradise Lost.
Paradise Lost. I read that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
It's the hidden history of whatever happened, you know.
yeah. No, in my literature class that I mentioned, I had to read Paradise Lost. It's by Milton, right?
Yeah.
And I wrote an essay about that.
About what?
About the story, yeah, because I was trying to
simplicity
understand. Yeah, because I was trying to understand the character of Lucifer or Satan in that story, because yeah, this is a story of how Lucifer falls down from heaven and loses paradise.
Lucifer's story. And that's
Yeah,
what it is.
yeah, and he's the main character, right, in that story. And so I wrote an essay about how Lucifer is very similar to this other character, which is called King Lear, which is a Shakespeare play. So I was comparing both characters and saying how they're
True
like very
tragedies,
similar.
you know.
Yeah,
It is similar.
Exactly. Yeah, so two tragedies because that happened due to the folly of the main character, someone who thinks they know better, pretty much.
Yeah. I think that students should read more about those things, you know, deep things. Because now they read about, there are many books about, you know, for dummies.
Right.
Technology for dummies. Writing a book for dummies. Creating your YouTube channel for dummies. So I think those books is just like instructions, but they don't offer anything.
Yeah.
And now it will be better, I mean, avoiding all those situations that students, that are many books that are not very deep. Students should read more, period. Because you see students, they are not reading very much. They are just consuming TikTok and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they are not reading anything.
No, I agree. And, you know, I mentioned a lot of literature that is fiction, right? But I think nowadays there's also genres that are really helpful for young people. For example, self-help books that are nonfiction books have also really impacted me when it comes to building relationships with people, becoming someone who's a lot more disciplined and principled. I could recommend a couple. Like, one that really helped me with relationships was How to Win Friends and Influence People. That's a really cool book. And another that has helped me become someone who's more disciplined and actually gets work done is Atomic Habits. And Atomic Habits is a book about building habits. And there's another book similar to that called The Power of Habit, which is really cool. And yeah, on top of that, you know, you don't have to read self-help books as much, but there's also audiobooks and there's podcasts that you can listen to. For example, most recently, I've been learning a lot about psychology from this professor who's at Stanford University. His name is Andrew Huberman. He has a podcast on Spotify. If students have
free.
Spotify, so it should be free, or if not, it's on YouTube. And he does lectures explaining to you how the brain works and how you can become better at X, Y, or Z. So recently,
and giving tips and
giving you tips, but they're like based in science too. So I was
what better than that?
Right. Yeah. So I've been listening from him how to get better sleep, how to improve my nutrition, how to improve my workouts. Also, how to be better at getting along with people and whatnot. So, yeah, whether you read fiction, nonfiction, or listen to experts talk to you through a podcast, like, there's many ways in which you can learn, you know. But people, unfortunately, don't engage with these things. They'd rather just go on Instagram or TikTok, and
they stop like having curiosity for training themselves, because actually when you read, you train your body and your soul and stuff. It will be nice to invite students to read about those people who have done really great in life, but starting from the very beginning. For example, I would like to. Mike Tyson has got a book.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's got a book about his things when he was at the top, and then going back to jail, and then what happened after. First fight after jail, and then returning to being at the top. And he wrote a book about that. So he's got many things to share with the people. He's got some participation on some podcasts, especially Snoop Dogg.
Oh, yeah.
Podcast, and they talk about that, about life. You were the great boxer. He was a legend and stuff. And he constantly says is it's not enough to be the best. You have to train to remain the best. And that was something I didn't do. And he started saying things and stuff. And he says, it ain't matter if you are an engineer, if you are a housewife, if you are a professional athlete. It ain't matter. I mean, if you are the best, okay, you're the best. But people are getting better every single day. So you have to train to remain the best.
No, I agree. Yeah. There's this quote, I don't know who said it, that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard, right? So you may be the smartest in the room, but if you don't study, someone's going to catch up to you. Someone else who may not be as smart as you, but they actually put in the work studying to get to the level that they need to get to.
And there is a lesson in our books. It's in level, I think it's 5th level. The name of the lesson is talent, training, I think is practice makes perfect.
Oh.
That's the name.
Yeah.
And they talk about how many hours you need to be the best. And they give examples from tennis players, from Michael Jordan, from the Beatles. And they say that the magic number is 10,000. You have to train 10,000 hours to become the best. And there is a neuroscience study and stuff, and they prove that it's 10,000 hours.
Oh, wow.
So they start talking to this lady who was very famous in the 80s and 90s, tennis player. She retired because she got an accident on the beach. Somebody just stopped her.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I don't know her.
And then they jumped to the Beatles, and then they jumped to Michael Jordan, and then they jumped to Cristiano Ronaldo. So they say the number is 10,000.
Interesting.
10,000 hours. You have to train to be the best.
10,000 hours sounds pretty crazy. Like, I kind of want to do the math real quick. So, 10,000 hours.
They train 8 hours a day.
Yeah, if you divide that by 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
So that's 1,250 days. And then
they start training when they are 10 years old, maybe.
Yeah, that's if you train every single day, it'll take you like 3.5 years or so, training 8 hours a day to become like an expert.
Yeah, and they make the comparison, who's better, Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi? Messi was born with the talent, and Cristiano, he had to build it.
Right.
Every single day, and training and doing it.
Yeah.
And arriving earlier and leaving later to training sessions. And that's the perfect example.
Right. Yeah, and that's why I really respected Cristiano Ronaldo for a while, because you could tell that Messi just had the talent, but
he was born that way.
Yeah, he's just like a genius in the world of soccer. But Cristiano has always worked hard. To this day, he's still working really hard. He's 39 years old, and I saw a picture this morning of him doing a bicycle kick during a game, and his form is like if he was 25.
Now that he's in the Emirates, there was an interview, and they say, you must be the happiest person in the world. And I say, why? You have all this, wealthy, you're a wealthy person, and you have yachts, and you have houses, and you have cars, and you have money, and but I'm a professional athlete. I don't enjoy those places. It's my wife, because I have to train every single day of my life to keep my muscles active, you know. He has a personal trainer who's a neuroscientist, and he says, okay, what's the better time to sleep? What's the better time to train? What's better things to read? What are the better things to read to activate your body, you know? And he says it's a 24/7 work, so I don't have time to do that. So when you stop one competition, then you go into another competition, then you go into the World Cup, then you go into, so you don't have time to do that. And in the interview they ask, so why don't you retire and you enjoy the things? He says, no, because the day I retire, I know I'm going to continue, you know, because it's my routine. I started doing this since I was 15 years old. So he's now 38? 39. It's more than 20 years doing the same thing. So your body get used to that.
Yeah, it becomes a habit.
Imagine Cristiano Ronaldo first day of retirement. He opens the windows of the house and says, so what's now?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that when Cristiano retires from playing soccer, he's going to do some other crazy stuff. Like, he just has that character.
Like buying a team or something?
Yeah, like, he's going to become a manager, perhaps. He's going to start a business. Like, I'm sure if he's not already a billionaire, I'm sure he's going to become a billionaire. Like, he's just the type of person that, like, has the influence and has the capacity to create something really big. So I am pretty sure that 30 years from now, Cristiano Ronaldo is still going to be a personality.
Yeah.
That we're going to know about.
Maybe in the Emirates, like buying a team.
Yeah.
He's got a son who is a soccer player too. So
yeah.
he can, like, you know, make things easier for his sons.
Yeah.
That's something that he constantly says. He says, my son is making things great, but he's not hungry. I was hungry.
Yeah.
Literally
Yeah, yeah. No, that's what happens a lot when very successful people have children. And the children just don't have the same experience as their parents because they're privileged. They have a lot of access to resources and they have a secure home and everything. So that hunger, it really isn't present, both physically and mentally and emotionally even, you know?
There's something that says, what was it? Tough times create...
tough men.
Tough men? Yeah?
Yeah.
Tough men create...
easy times.
Create easy times, and easy times create...
weak men.
Weak men, and weak men create difficult times.
Yeah.
That's a circle, you know?
Yeah.
And that's true.
That's
true. So that's why students should read, because all these things we have been talking about, all that wisdom is in the books.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I'm not reading only about, you know, about these novels that are becoming movies. Like I'm talking about someone specific, Blood, Rain and Fire, something like that. I don't remember. They should start reading things like what you said, the things that prepare them psychologically, and something that makes them feel better and stronger and more prepared for life. Not only reading about Maluma's state of mind, you know. He's a...
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. People will help me. What can you say about Maluma that is in the book? The guy, he's got a problem, an issue in his mind, and he created a book. That's it.
Oh, really?
But there are more other books that prepare people to be more successful in life, to face problems, because life is problem after problem. How to face those problems, what you can do. Because maybe the main character in a novel, or the main character who is the writer, created that situation and wanted to share with the people what to do. How to face a financial problem, how to face an emotional problem, how to face some loss. Yeah. So I think the students should read more and stop watching TikToks and stop playing cards in the cafeteria.
Yeah. No, I agree. And you could just start by reading a couple pages every day. And you don't have to sit down for 5 hours just reading a book until you're done. That's what I do. Like, I read like 2 pages a day, if anything, 2 to 10 pages.
And podcasts now.
And podcasts too. Yeah, and the thing with podcasts...
Audiobooks.
Yeah, the thing with those is that you can just be walking somewhere and just listening to the podcast instead of music.
Yeah. or you can be riding your motorcycle. You can be riding your car, and you can activate or play on your podcast or the audiobook. I want to read about Crime and Punishment, but I don't like to read the book, or I don't have the time to read the books, or I am not a person into the books, but I'm an audio person, so I can listen to the book.
Right.
Some people don't have that ability. Some people listen to something and they don't remember anything.
Right.
Some people's got the ability.
Yeah, and I understand that it can be daunting to read a book that's like this thick. And
It's that thick. Crime and Punishment.
Crime and Punishment is this thick. The Iliad is
book.
this thick. Yeah, there's huge books, so. And the thing is too is that the language in those books is like old English or like old Spanish if you read them. So it's tough to read,
But you cultivate yourself,
Yeah, for sure. Your vocabulary gets better. Your wisdom gets better. I just remember another book I read, which was in Spanish, Don Quixote de la Mancha. That's another good book. But yeah, like crazy stories, a lot of depth. I really recommend.
And if you like movies, I recommend you to read the book. And it's even better because when you watch the movie after reading the book, or if you read the book after watching the movie, you see that the movie is not that 100% loyal to the book. There are some big differences.
Right.
For example, Lord of the Rings. Everybody was waiting for the spider.
Right.
And when it showed up, many people was like, no, that's not the spider from the book. And many other things, you see?
Yeah. No, sometimes, there's just a mismatch for whatever reason.
We are getting kicked by... Yeah. She's constantly saying, time's out, so time's out.
Yeah, you're expecting it. Yeah.
Hey, are you listening to Unab On Air right now? If not, what are you waiting for?
A new program has arrived on unabradio.com to live the English language.
Are you listening to Unab On Air right now?
Unab On Air will bring you news, interviews, and the best music for your Thursday afternoon. Join us at unabradio.com and enjoy the Unab On Air experience. News, interviews, and the best music for your Thursday afternoon.